Kevin O'Connell was drafted into the National Football League in 2008, the same year Kevin Stefanski was in his third year as assistant to Vikings head coach Brad Childress. A decade and a half later, both are head coaches in the National Football League, and the Vikings and Browns just concluded the first of two joint practices. Thank you guys very much for doing this. We'll start here. How'd it go today?
I thought it was awesome. I cannot, when you schedule these joint practices, you got to really think long and hard about, it's not just find the first team that you can find to agree to practice against. It's about this guy right here, this beautiful facility. We don't just leave our facility for nothing because we love our place in Egan, but just to be able to put together 2 days of work with this guy and know the type of players, the type of team he has, they're going to practice the right way, physical, tough, made us better just in 1 day, and we get one more day to do it. So I thought it was awesome, and we'll come back and do it again tomorrow.
That's the plan. Yeah, like KO said, having a familiarity with their staff. How many guys on both our staffs have worked together, so they know each other. So it's such an important part of just getting your work done and just watch. I had the view of that other field, and then we'll go watch the other. When we get back, we'll watch the tape of the other side. But guys were just working, and that's the fun part where pros are pros. All these guys know each other from high school days, college days. So got some really good work done, and like KO said, I think it'll make both teams better.
How well do you guys know each other? And do you talk outside of just getting ready for joint practices?
Well, I know back in 2008 he was pounding the table saying,
"There's this kid
Coach Childress, there's this kid from San Diego State.
He's like 9 feet tall."
And he just, he didn't quite have the same pull that he has now to get it done. But no, I just have always, not only his path to, he's coached a bunch of different positions at a really high level. He's called plays at a really high level, and then he kind of gets a chance to come here and, an organization and a football town that loves their team, and I think they've really embraced this guy because they know how special of a leader he is, and he's a damn good football coach, and he does it the right way. So I'm always trying to get to know him even better,
right?
But we'll save that for the league meetings.
Yeah,
when we get a chance to let our hair down a bit.
We get along. Our wives get along.
Yeah,
that's important. So, but seriously, former Cleveland Brown.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
And last time you were here was what year?
2015.
So just think about that. 9 years later. Here you are. Some things have changed. Buildings changed, but some faces still the same, right?
That's right.
Still some people. And same thing for me. So KO gets to come here and see some people that he remembers from his days. I'm getting to see a bunch of former Vikings that spent all those years with. So it's fun for both of us on both sides of that.
Well, on that last note, one would be Harrison Smith. And of all the years, decade and a half, a little more, that Kevin Stefanski was here and Kevin O'Connell into his third year as head coach, I know you guys are in lockstep with your respect for Harrison Smith. I remember what Stefanski used to say about him, and O'Connell on X's and O's and outside of it has said he's either one of your favorite players you've ever coached. Harrison Smith, the hitman. First you, Kevin.
Yeah, one of my favorite players to coach, not my favorite player to coach against.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
is not fun because he's so cerebral. Even today, he was doing some stuff. I was busting his chops. He was making calls, and he was making fake. I knew he was making fake calls, so he was messing with us there. And then just the ball skills that Harry has, the amount of balls he's gotten to in his career, just so athletic, plays so hard. He's certainly one of my favorites.
And why is he one of your favorites?
Well, I just think he's one of the few guys that comes up to my office and likes to have a cup of coffee with me. Sometimes when you have a guy that's played as long as Harry has, sometimes it's good for him too, therapeutic to be around somebody a little closer to his age up in the head ball coach's office. But I think it's what he said though. It's like I really value people that are the same version of themselves, which is great every day, authentic. You know exactly what you're going to get. I can lean on him. He's such an unbelievable leader in how he does it. His leadership style, I think, is really one of one. And I can say he's one of my favorite coaches or favorite players I've ever coached, as long as Justin Jefferson's not about 15 feet away, and then we got a problem. But,
right.
Absolutely love him, you know that.
Well, and AFC Kevin. We'll go AFC Kevin and NFC Kevin. But this is for both of you, and you said something about NFC Kevin in 2015. That was Kevin's first coaching job in the NFL. Mike Pettin was the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Kevin was the quarterback's coach. AFC Kevin, head coach here into his fifth year. Here's the question. When the wind is whipping in from Lake Erie at this stadium, I mean, seriously, you guys are both offensive coaches. You're coaches, but offensive minds. How difficult is it to play a game and execute an offense with that wind?
That's the guy who threw balls in that stadium.
Oh, wow.
I will
Right?
tell you this much. I remember there was one game where during pregame warmups it was about 65 degrees and sunny. By the end of the game, it was 20, snowing, 30-mile-an-hour wind. It was like nothing I had ever seen. But yeah, I used to throw balls pregame, but you throw enough wobblers in those, that wind down there on the lake, that will humble any guy that thinks he can throw a football in the National Football League. You'll find out real quick.
Kevin, is it a home field advantage? Because the home team has to play in the bad conditions too.
Yeah, I think it's good for both teams. We enjoy. It does make maybe gripping the football pretty hard. We've had some games down there where I call it's like a rain globe. It's just a mist off the lake. I don't know if that's a meteorological term, but it's hard to grip that ball a lot of times. And then the wind, like I've seen that ball in pregame that it just takes a nosedive. It just goes straight down. So we have to adjust. It's not like the friendly confines of U.S. Bank Stadium, of course. But both teams have to deal with the elements.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, now AFC, Kevin, when you see Christian Darrisaw, what do you see?
That's a good-looking kid. I mean, that's what you want him to look like. He is so physical. I didn't get to see a lot of it while I was out there, but I can't wait to watch number 95 go against number 71. I mean, that's good on good. And just to see how those guys work together and work different moves against each other, that kid's pretty special.
And for NFC, Kevin O'Connell, when you see Myles Garrett, what do you see?
I told him today after practice, I said, you know what, to me it looked like he got some good work. I'm not going to speak for Coach Stefanski, but if you want to take tomorrow off, that is totally all right by me. But I'll tell you this much. You can tell I was fortunate to be around a guy like Aaron Donald in LA, and I just remember watching the way people respected through the scheme that they run. You always knew where the slide was going. You always knew that there was going to be 2 or 3 guys blocking them. I think it's the same way with Myles Garrett, and they just happen to have 3 or 4 or 5 other really good rushers on that front, so you really have to be aware of where he is at all times, because he's a game wrecker, really, one of the top, if not the top edge rusher in our league. And I have a lot of respect for how he plays all downs. He plays the run, instinctive versus the different types of screens and things that he's going to see as a really, really good rusher. He can handle getting chipped on the edges. I just think he's spectacular.
Now, the Kevins, Stefanski and O'Connell, are 2 of the most well-respected offensive minds in the NFL. And when it comes to the art of designing offense and having it be ever-changing on a week-to-week basis and running up big numbers and a lot of points, like, where does it start? Like I know it's a broad, wide question, but simplify it for us. Like, where does that start?
I would tell you, good ideas come from everywhere. We have young coaches. We were both young coaches, and some of your young coaches will bring you a play from, honestly, sometimes high school, sometimes college, and you look at it and you put it on the board, and then you say, all right, maybe we could do this, and you just tweak it. But it's a lot. It's really that you push all those ideas in the middle of the table, and you see which ones make it. But there's a lot of pruning going on, and hey, this will work for us. I know why they did that, but that really doesn't fit our scheme. Let's try this. So it's a lot of mixing, matching, and then it also helps when you have good players.
Yeah. What about you?
I just, as a young coach in this league, I remember whether it was Sean McVay most recently or going back to Jay Gruden, Chip Kelly. Even when I coached here, having that when you get a play in the game plan for the first time, and then it gets called and it works and you exactly how you said it would, or sometimes it's a scramble play and it looks nothing like you said it would work, and you're still equally excited because it was your play on the call sheet. So I think that's such a great point, and it also engages your whole staff. There's no such thing as a bad idea. It's just the bad ones we may prune. I like that. I might use that. I tend to use a different word. We've got the graveyard where bad plays go to die.
Yeah.
So every Excel spreadsheet, there's about 10 or 15 of them right below
under the
there.
print area.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think it's important because then your staff's dialed in, and hopefully guys feel like they've got real roles in our staff.
Can either of you see yourselves at any point not calling plays, not being in-game play callers?
I'll go first. I mean, we've both been young coaches where we weren't play callers, and now as head coaches we've been play callers. I think it depends on the staff. It depends on what your group needs. I do know this. Even the guys that aren't per se calling plays, you can be heavily involved both during the week and even on the game, or on game day, if you will. But yeah, I enjoy a lot of things about football. I enjoy I enjoyed the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, putting it on the board, coming up with those plays. I enjoy that even more than calling the plays.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I would think that I remember getting to call plays for the first time when I was in Washington. It was mid-season, and you're getting really thrown into the fire. And I just remember how much every single quarter, every drive felt like experience that made you a better coach. And then Sean would always let me call plays in the preseason. I think Saturday, I don't know if either one of us will call a single play in that game on Saturday, so we might be a little bored. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do.
No, we want to get the headsets. We could probably figure this out.
Yeah, hit one button.
We just talk to each other.
Yeah, exactly
right.
right.
Hey, what are you calling here?
That'd be unbelievable.
That's going to work.
All right, one for each of them before we say goodbye. First, for Kevin O'Connell. Truly sorry about the J.J. McCarthy news. What is next for him?
Yeah, I think the blessing of when this has happened, I'm just crushed for the kid, just because he has done everything we've asked of him and then some since he's arrived. The improvement, the commitment to playing the position, the way we've asked of him, and just how he's really owned that. I was really excited about seeing him out here against the Browns, seeing him this weekend against the Browns, next week against the Eagles. So removing some of those real tangible results-based reps that you can, now we can say he actually did this or did that. Well, he's checked the box in my mind. I think from the improvement I saw to what he took to US Bank Stadium last Saturday was just an extension of what he had been doing in training camp on the daily. And so we know he can play. We know he's everything we hoped for as a person on and off the field. Really excited about his future. Now we got to figure out how to, continue this development process where maybe you remove those physical reps for a few months here. And I know I've got the coaching staff to do it with Josh and Grant, Wes, and myself. And then how does he still have a role in the short term with those other quarterbacks, because he's got a big brain. He's really smart. He's dialed into his preparation. There's a lot of ways we can continue to make J.J. McCarthy ready to roll for when his time comes.
Mr. Stefanski, your quarterback, Deshaun Watson, when he's healthy, happy, and full bore, what do you know you'll love about him?
He's a winner. He's won at the high school level, the college level, the professional level. Even last year for us, while he wasn't a huge sample size, he won games for us. The last glimpse was winning the game for us at Baltimore. So excited for him to get back healthy. He's attacked his rehab like a crazy man. I mean, just always chomping at the bit, wanting to do more. So he's hit every step along the way, including these practices. Just another big step for him to go against the defense like the Vikings have. So all of it's a process, but he's excited about being out there on the field with his teammates.
Be cool if the next time we did this was at the or a Super Bowl. And in closing, part two, I promise. And I know both you guys are really comfortable with this type of stuff, but I'm gonna roll the dice anyway. Kevin Stefanski, what do you like about your squad? What do you like about the 2024 Cleveland Browns?
Yeah, I think we're just now figuring who we are out, and there's certain things that we hang our hat on that will never change, and how we play, the things that we believe in offensively, defensively, special teams. But this time of August is you're starting to streamline what you do on all three sides of the ball. So right now I see a team that's working hard, but we're miles to go before September 8th. We have a lot of work to do.
KO?
Yeah, I mean, really it's what just hit me with what Kevin said was you're figuring out really your identity based upon the football philosophies you do believe in as a coaching staff, and then the players you fit into the roles to really fill out that football philosophy. But there's still things like play style. There's still things like effort. The guys having the mental understanding of the challenges that will be ahead schematically week in and week out. You're really laying the foundation for all that right now, but that you never ever can shy away from looking, each other square in the eyes in your building and saying, are we being who we say we are?
Yeah.
Are you establishing that core foundation belief of how you want your football team to look? And if you're not, you can, there's still time, but as I'll tell the guys tonight, day one at Cleveland is over. We get one more op tomorrow to come out here and continue to shape what the 2024 Minnesota Vikings will look like, and no better place to do it than his shop here, man. This has been awesome.
Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for doing this.
Appreciate you, Pierre.
Thanks, Pierre.
Kevin Stefanski, Kevin O'Connell.